ones, thank you for joining me today. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the family. Today, we will review Married at First Sight Afterparty. This is the companion piece to Season 16, Episode 19, titled Afterparty, The Final Decision. To be a part of the congregation, please subscribe. To be a part of the conversation, please comment. And to contribute to today's offering, please drop a like in the collection plate. And with that, let's get started. The beautiful Keshia Knight Pulliam is on maternity leave. Therefore, this episode was hosted by the lovely guest host, Jemele Hill. Jemele described herself as a married sports journalist, a cultural critic, huge Married at First Sight fan who was beyond excited and living the dream by hosting the after party. Her guests were Nicole, Airris, and Shaquille. They keep advertising this season as the first time in Married at First Sight history we get to follow the cast journeys beyond Decision Day. However, last season we followed their lives after Decision Day. We saw the park interaction between Justin and Alexis. Alexis and her castmate went on a double date. A couple hosted the cabin outing where we saw Justin's apology tour. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing something or how this will be different. Jemele begins with her first question: how has the transition back to normal life been? Nicole and Chris are still together, trying to adjust to life without the cameras. Airris is getting back to the normal day-to-day, but finds it awkward to be recognized by strangers. And Shaquille has regained his peace and back in the swing of school, traveling, and family time. We then move on to our first clip, and it's Shaquille asking Kirsten for a divorce because he finds it hard to step up as the man and getting her to let her guard down. Shaquille did not know his decision until that moment. He was emotional because he made a decision for himself. Prior to Decision Day, he tried to talk to Kirsten about the choice they would each make, but she wanted him to make his own decision. He did want to know what life beyond Decision Day could bring, but felt that Decision Day was for making a decision, and he was not thinking about let's get past Decision Day. However, he lives with no regrets. A viewer points out that Shaquille says he can't be the man that Kirsten wants him to be, even though Kirsten clearly thinks he can. Shaquille believes that Kirsten wanted him to be like her dad, and he never had the chance since he met her dad only a few days before Decision Day. Jemele believes, as do I, that in all fairness, the only way you get to a fair shot that Shaquille talked about is if you get past Decision Day, which Kirsten clearly wanted to do. I guess there can be many schools of thoughts about Decision Day. I agree with Kirsten that they should make their own decision on Decision Day. However, for this couple, maybe they could have discussed what their Decision Day philosophy was. The way I see Decision Day is I like you enough to say yes on Decision Day to explore our marriage to determine if it will work in the real world. Nicole was shocked and believes they should have given it more time. You take away the cameras, the pressure, her always asking what's going on and everyone else in their business, and there could have been some real growth. However, she respects that Shaquille listened to his intuition and did what was right for him and not just what was expected. Airris thinks it's crazy not to have a conversation before Decision Day. Clint warned Airris that Jasmine might say yes on Decision Day and encouraged him to share his decision with her. Therefore, Airris let Jasmine know he was going to say no on Decision Day. We then move on to our next clip. It's Jasmine talking to her Aunt Patricia. Jasmine shares that Airris was faking. He did not try during the relationship. He wants to be married, but is not ready to be married. Airris has only great things to say about Aunt Patricia. She is going to keep things real. He says sometimes people are not attracted to you. He has experienced it himself. Off camera, he had an in-depth conversation the first night they moved into their shared apartment with Jasmine, and told her in detail the things he did not find attractive about her. Jasmine woke him up at 2 o'clock in the morning and asked him to be honest as to why they did not have sexual chemistry. He says it was not easy talking to someone he just met and not wanting to hurt her feelings, but he did share. He kept it respectful and declined the request to share the details of that private conversation. For me, I'm still heartbroken that Jasmine's question to Airris is, why is there no sexual chemistry? Also, in the upcoming clip, Jasmine is concerned if her date finds her attractive. I really want to see Jasmine go deeper than shallow looks or sexual chemistry. Beauty fades, and if the foundation is built on external factors and not the essence of a person, it will crumble when the rubber really meets the road. We then move on to our next clip. It's Airris talking to Cheese and Raven, indicating that he is ready to get back to the dating scene and asking Raven to pair him with her friends. They can be tall, short, thick, thin, light, or dark. Jemele questions his statement of dating any kind of woman when he rejected Jasmine due to attraction. Airris clarifies that he must be attracted to them, but he finds many women attractive and does not have a specific type. I am so confused. He went through the entire season not finding America's beauty queen attractive, but would find someone with her similar traits attractive? I am confused. Honestly, I guess the only way I will understand Airris's point is if he shared what he did not like about Jasmine specifically. I don't think it was her personality, because he said great things about who she is. Nichole says that the streets will welcome Airris home. She says it's great that he is ready to date again. He can take what he learned from this process and apply it in his new dating relationships. Airris shares that Cheese did not find Raven's friends suitable. Therefore, he must find a different dating pool. He has received direct messages, but plans to wait until this season has played out fully to date again. However, he and Jasmine have remained amicable, and Jasmine has begun dating, and he will occasionally receive messages of his wife being seen with another man. I respect Airris for waiting. Let one situation play out completely before you start a new thing. Airris portrays himself to be out and wild and only care for the physical intimacy of women. However, his actions speak differently. I have the highest respect for Airris not engaging in physical intimacy with Jasmine, since I believe he could have, and he instead left her whole. Airris is the one who removed physical intimacy off the table, and for me, I admire him for that. We then move on to our next clip. It's Chris giving Nichole their new lease agreement to sign, and Nichole shares that she received the paperwork to change her last name. Jemele understands why when women divorce, they keep their last name, because it's a painful process to change it. Is it though? Nichole shared that a company sent her a packet with all the needed documents. I'm not sure what the big deal is. You obtain your marriage license, send it to the Social Security Department and the Department of Motor Vehicles. Then you need to change it at your job. And maybe your credit cards. Most other things will be you creating a new life with your new name, like a new lease, new utility accounts, etc. If you're newly married and you have recently changed your name, please let me know what I'm missing. Maybe 25 years ago when I changed my last name, things have changed. Nichole shared that the original plan was for them to live separately until they got their shared apartment, but she has moved half of her stuff into Chris's one-bedroom apartment, and they live like an old boring married couple, and it's great. They hang out with the dogs, date night once a week, have the cast over, and are planning a reception so more people can be invited. We then move on to our next clip. It's Kirsten making it clear to Jasmine that the door is closed on her marriage. She does not plan to contact Shaquille. However, in a cameo, Shaquille says Kirsten will find her Prince Charming, and it just might be him. Shaquille says it's his first time interacting with the cast since decision day. He needed time to himself. He is giving Kirsten grace and glad she expressed her feelings. He understands that it will take her some time. He says he does not want to be friends, but definitely not strangers. Watching the season, he was unaware of how he made Kirsten feel and thinks he should call and apologize. Airris believes there was pride involved on Kirsten's part. It was a fresh situation and she was still processing it because it did not go as she expected. Jemele then asked if they talked to one another about what their decision will be on decision day. Nichole makes it clear that production has instructed them not to speak to each other about their decision. She was told more than anyone, which was helpful because she would have tried to convince Shaquille to say yes. However, the days leading up to decision day are really important to decide what you need and what your partner needs, and not what your friends and family think is right for you. We then move on to our next clip. It's Nichole asking Mackinley and Gina if they are willing to go on a date to determine if they were mismatched. Clint says he was not prepared for that. Nichole heats up in this conversation. After Jemele points out that this was a messy, she says she knows the internet will come for her, but it was milling around that both Mackinley and Gina were interested in one another. She volunteered to be the awkward person to break the tension that was already brewing in the room. She says they were trying to make things uncomfortable because it was funny. Airris believes that Clint did not care in the grand scheme of things, but in the moment, the male ego in Clint was offended. Nichole says since Clint says what's on his mind, he should have said then and there that the interaction was inappropriate. Really, Nichole? You want someone else to regulate you instead of knowing what's appropriate? But the real issue here is that it was a producer's plant. Nichole said she volunteered to be the awkward one. I think this was set up by production to keep the show moving forward and create a bit of drama at the meetup. However, Nichole did say she will call Clint to personally apologize if she bruised his ego. She also indicated that after the scene wrapped, she called Domynique and informed her of the new development, in which Domynique said, "Good for them." Jemele then asked the final question of this episode. When they think about the process, where do they think they have the most growth? Nichole says, as mortifying as it was seeing herself having breakthroughs and breakdowns almost every week, it was healing for her. And she does not know that she would have gotten there without this process. Airris says even though he didn't say yes on decision day, seeing something through, because in the past he would have pulled out early. The one thing Shaquille would do differently is not shut down so much. He does not think a lot of it was Kirsten, but school and work, and he did not see it until he watched it back. He learned what vulnerability and emotional intelligence looks like. He is grateful God placed this process in his life because he needed it. Well, that put this episode in the books. On next week's episode, Gina and Mackinley meet up for a date, and Gina shares that she noticed him at the airport. Nicole and Chris disagree about the purchase of a $1,900 gold chair. Jasmine kisses a guy on their first date because he finds her attractive. Clint and Domynique meet up for a date. Did I accidentally change the channel to wife swap? Until next time, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, live with intention. Be intentional.